I mean, basically, once the Tron deck gets this much mana and has cards in hand, it's hard to feel like you have any any chance of winning. I mean, he's tapping 4 lands to make a guy every turn.
Yep. Meanwhile, on the back table, you've also got a match that seems to be favoring one player. Gab Nassif seems to have that under control, but Tiago just got his second Sacred Mesa to resolve, so Tiago not ready to give that one up. Nassif's got Proclamation and Martyr, but Chan knows the one way he can actually deal enough damage through that combo is with Sacred Mesa. Oh, Nassif just got a Faith's Fetters to resolve on the Sacred Mesa. That's cute.
That's very exciting.
Yeah, that Faith's Fetters is also his example to his answer to Academy Ruins.
Oh,
that's how
wonderful.
He wins. Keeps the potential final matchup from going infinite.
Oh, so that game
Faith's Fetters does a lot.
Faith's Fetters is just a great card. A lot of people, miss that you can put it on lands. You can just put it on a land, on a regular land, sometimes just to gain 4.
Right.
To unchar, as it were.
Meanwhile, the match we are watching, Ryu Ogura's at 10. Nick Levette is down to 4. Finally came up with a Stone Rain to deal with that Urza's Factory, but pretty much over here. Ryu Ogura gained control, got out of Cop Red, managed to get rid of all the white weenies that Nick Levette's Boros deck could deliver up. Full on Urzatron. And yeah, there's game number 2, and Ryu Ogura has evened it at a game apiece. Those guys, instead of paying best 3 out of 5, now it's all down to best 2 out of 3. Can we look in on the back table while they shuffle? Bruce? So we'll try to get another check-in on the match between Gabe Nassif and Tiago Chan. Oh, did that one scoop it up too? Tiago gave up? Oh, as a response to that Faith's Fetters, it looks like Tiago Chan scooped him up, realized with both his Sacred Mesas down, he was cold. So that one is going to game number 5. Nassif comes back, evens it up.
Cold with a K?
Cold with a K. I grew up around the Speds, right? Can you use it? Or is there a point where you're old enough you're just not allowed to use Speds?
I don't know. John still uses cold all the time, so it's one of his favorite words. It's like, John's your wife going to let you come to the PTQ? No, I'm cold. Freezing, actually.
Freezing. Yeah. There's Gabe Nassif looking a little happier now. He's not trailing in the match anymore.
Show manager Renee Raub is grinning that we're on to game 5. It's a 2-hour plus match is really ahead of
ahead of predictions. Yes, this could have been much worse. We were certainly prepared.
We haven't exceeded 50 Sacred Pegasus tokens. And we haven't gone over the 3-hour mark yet.
It's funny, the only slow play warning in the top 8 went to the Dragonstorm deck. Mahara on the crucial turn.
Well, no one is ever going to accuse Nassif of slow play.
No, definitely
not. He's very brisk, very very nimble mind, makes his decisions.
Yeah, no, a number of people were comparing this top 8 to the one in Berlin, where there were some Mirari's Wake Mirror matches that drug on a little bit. But I mean, the thing in Berlin, the players were just playing slow. You could just yell at them and give them warnings, so that's not what's going on here. This feels very different to me in that, Nassif's deck just does take that many turns. He's playing it perfectly briskly, and I mean, it's interesting Magic. It just takes a while for those scenarios to play themselves out.
You have a deck that revolves around a 7-mana recursion. So that's, those games are going to go deep, versus a deck that's looking to either make enough Pegasus tokens to kill you or Demon Fire you out. So both of those decks are decks that have game plans that, probably don't really kick in until about halfway through the deck. Those are game plans where you're 20, 24 cards into your deck before you are going to realistically be able to win a game. So it's not a matter of people just agonizing over difficult decisions for a really long time. And also the matches in Berlin were virtual mirror matches.
Right.
So it was very complicated. Each wake that was actually a somewhat painful experience as someone who was listening to that event and covering.
Move those out of the. That's our camera there.
So we're
We're really on the ball spotter for this too. We've got Duncan's a really good spotter. We have the Rio Ogura just decided he really needed to use the restroom, and the spotter was smart enough to send the message, please turn off his mic. I've heard one
Nice
live
job, Duncan.
mic bathroom scenario in my coverage life,
Have you really?
and that was enough. Yes.
Who was it?
It was Trevor Blackwell.
Really?
U.S. Nationals, Trevor Blackwell. You just hear him going into the bathroom, and the next thing I do is taking off my headset and throwing it to the table.
Oh my god! It wasn't like Austin Powers one scene, is it?
I don't know. I took off the headset. I wasn't going to listen.
Who's number one? So,
Yeah, just keep everybody updated on what's going on. We are watching two matches right now. We're watching the semifinal match between Ryo Ogura and Nick Lovett. That match is tied at 1 game apiece, best 3 out of 5, to find out which one of those two players will be competing for the world title this afternoon. Meanwhile, we're also watching the quarterfinal match between Tiago Chan and Gabriel Nassif. That is tied at 2 games apiece. Those two players, one of them, they got 1 game left to figure out who takes on Makihito Mahara in the other semifinal.
playing Dragonstorm.
Mahara's Dragonstorm deck is waiting for the winner. Chan has a blue-white-red control deck. Nassif has a white, sort of mono-white-ish Martyr of Sands, Proclamation of Rebirth, Urzatron deck.
We were calling it Mortartron.
Martyrtrons, it seems like a fine name.
Also,
for it.
just while we're updating people, I just wanted to give a little update on the slow roll contest of the Duchies. So we talked about this, where Sudden Shock is sort of the perfect foolproof card to slow roll, and the players, all the Dutch players, were going to have a contest to see who could roll off the just sort of the most outrageous slow roll in the tournament.
Watch the Nassif match.
And I'm sad to say that all the Dutch players are way too nice.
They couldn't do it?
They could not do it. Frank Karsten almost had an opportunity to do it, but had to actually cast the Sudden Shock first to get Threshold for the Barbarian Ring, and then everyone else who had an opportunity to slow roll a Sudden Shock just didn't have the heart to do it, and was just like, I've got the Sudden Shock, and the game's over. As soon as they could. So that was a little disappointing. The best slow roll apparently came in playtesting,
Okay.
which was Jeroen Remy versus Frank
Oh,
Karsten.
I heard this. This is awesome.
And they knew, you know, they in playtesting that became one of their goals, right? To get
They were practicing the
They were
slow roll?
practicing the slow roll, and they're playing, and you know, Remy's playing Rock, obviously, and he Cabal Therapies. He's at 2,
Right.
and he Cabal Therapies Frank Karsten, kind of wincing. Karsten's like, yeah, okay, go ahead, name a card. And he's like, well, it can't be Sudden Shock, so he named
would've
something
yeah,
else.
would've killed me as
and then
response.
Karsten is like, ha ha, Sudden Shock.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. All right, well, we're underway here.
Yes, Nick Lovett leads with a Savannah Lion. Ryu comes into play tap land. I know you guys are looking at Tiago Chan. He's now... Sure. Tiago Chan is waiting for Gabriel Nassif, who also took the opportunity to go to the restroom. Lovett plays a turn 2 Saltari Priest.
Wow. Just, you get in so much action early. You know, especially on the play. Look at how different this game is on the play versus on the draw.
Sure. Signet from Ogura.
You know, Mana Leak saves maybe
Ton of
6,
damage.
8 damage, depending on how this plays out. Depending on whether or not he has
Crunch.
the turn 3 Wrath of God.
Lovett sends 4 points into the red zone.
He doesn't.
Do we see a Wrath of God in Ryu's hand?
It doesn't look like he has it.
No, I see a couple Triskelevises. Volcanic Hammer straight to your dome, says Nick Lovett.
Tap out against me, will you?
All he did was play a Signet. What else is he going to do on turn 2? Ryu draws Compulsive Research. Yeah, I do not see Wrath of God. Does he have another land? Is this like land Signet Research? Tap out? I see Mana Leak, Triskelevis, land.
If you're going to
Yeah, and a
compulsive
Signet.
research, you have to play Land Signet.
I think I go land Signet Research and then just
Hope for the best.
hold on to my chair and hope that I'm able to untap alive. What else is he going to do? I mean, his hand is Triskelevis. He's got no action. Yeah, there's the Signet.
There's the Academy
Here
Ruins.
comes Academy Ruins.
Academy Ruins is an interesting card also, showing up as a one-of. It's sort of like the Aboro of this block.